Hello and welcome, my viewers, welcome, my listeners. As I share on this topic of risk control plan in a typical organization. To just start it off, may I say that the risk control plan is usually cyclical. It has got possibly about 7 steps that you can work with to ensure that you achieve some efficiency and effectiveness in the risk control plan. Step number one is about consultations. You need to ask yourself, are my peers, the people that I'm actually working with as peer managers, are they aligned with respect to the risk management objectives of the organization? Because if they are not properly aligned, be rest assured you will not be able to achieve much with respect to the risk management program. So once, like now, you find that you are properly aligned, and I said that if you are not aligned, then you need like now to first of all stop at that stage, and you seek alignment with your peer in your organization. Now, once like now you achieve it, you achieve alignment, then you move to the next step, and that's the when you are then ask yourself, do I have champions who are going to assist me in this risk control plan? The champions will not necessarily be your peers, but will be the relevant persons who are going to act on the control activities. If possibly you don't have, then you seek to have them. If you do not, if you have them, then you ask yourself the other question: are they properly empowered? Are they properly trained? Do they have the necessary knowledge, skills, and abilities to be champions of risk management in your organization? That is step number two. Step number three, then you consider the working arrangements. The working arrangements, I'm talking of a typical organization. How is it structured? Is it structured project-wise? Is it structured department-wise? Is it structured floor-wise? Why are you doing this? You are doing this because the next step, which is about the identification of hazards, is going to be dependent upon how you structure uh, your your identification process. And for you to properly structure your identification of the hazards properly, which is step number three, then you need like now to have people who are going to concentrate on that particular department, on that particular floor, on that particular project. Then after step number three, then you move now to step number four, and this is about hazards identification. And we said in our previous session that hazards are matters, are issues, are exposures that catalyze the existence of a particular risk. For example, if you are working in a factory whereby there are oil spills, then that is a hazard that can catalyze the existence, the exposure to accident risks. So you'll be able like, now to identify such like hazards. It could be things like hanging wires, hanging electric wires. They are hazards that can increase the possibility of or the probability of having accidents in a typical organization. Identify the hazards. The next step, which is step number five, is about the assessment of the relevant risks. So you'll be asking yourself, since you have already identified the hazards and the attendant risk exposures that will arise out of the hazards, what is then the probability that we are going to get an accident out of these hazards? What will be the impact of those events, risk events happening? So once like now you do the assessment, you will be able like now to see that possibly the resultant risk could be minimal, could be moderate, could be high. And once like now you determine the value of those risks, then you move now to the next step, which is step number six, to come up with the treatment mechanisms. And this is what we actually call controls. And these controls could either be in form of remedial actions, or they could be in form of collective actions. Remedial actions are actions that are short-term in nature. Corrective actions that are actions that possibly are going to resolve the risk permanently. It could be something like doing away with the risk termination. Or it could be something like a risk transfer. Although even if you do a risk transfer through an insurance company, they will still tell you that you still need to come up with some control mechanisms. So you need like now to determine the treatment methodology as well as implement it. And now we move to the next step, which is step number 7, which is the review of the risk control plan. And the review of the risk control plan might end up like now taking you back to the very first step, which is about the consultation, or it may take you to either of the other steps, or 2 or 3 steps that require review for you to be able to achieve effectiveness as well as efficiency in the risk control plan. So thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope to see you again